vaping epidemic.
Calling it an epidemic.
The teen vaping epidemic
hit epidemic proportions.
Yeah, it was named an epidemic.
Calls teen vaping an epidemic.
The next epidemic
calls it an epidemic.
It's an epidemic. It's a crisis.
Nicotine is one of the most addictive substances out there.
We cannot allow the next generation of young people to become addicted to nicotine.
We have not done the long-term longitudinal clinical testing that we need to do.
A device that was made to ease smokers into quitting has done quite the opposite. The government can't tell us what goes into these devices or what the long-term effects are. Our team has conducted interviews with students from Georgia College asking about their vaping experience.
Started my junior year of high school, so what age is that? 17?
I started using nicotine my sophomore year of high school.
When was it? I think it was last year. I was just at a very low point in my life, and everyone's like, oh, like it helps with my stress, blah, blah, blah. And honestly, that was the main point for me. I was like, well, if this helps, I'll do it. And I did it for about a month, but I don't know. It's just not, I didn't want to be dependent on that for my stress,
I first started using nicotine on my first deployment. There was no alcohol or anything overseas, so it was only like release or thing we could use to calm down before we go out on a mission. And I kind of brought it back to the States with me, and I've been using it ever since.
I thought it was cool, so I got it, a vape. I quit at the start of COVID because I was at home with my parents and it was easy. I was away from my friends who also vaped, so I knew it was a good opportunity to stop while I was around my parents and no one else that vaped. I started back the start of this year, so I stopped for probably a little over a year and then started back the start of my senior year of college.
I use disposable vapes. They're called King vapes. And in this drawer here, I have all of my dead ones. They're about $12 a piece. I get about one a week. And this is here just in case mine dies, so I have some extra hits left.
I usually end up getting nicotine once a week, sometimes more frequently, but I'd say on average about once a week.
I think it's honestly like a pressure now. I mean, I feel like for a lot of people, if you're out partying and stuff, and you see vapes and everything around, it's become a social pressure for people, especially freshmen coming in who are trying to figure out who their friends are and everything. They just are under that pressure to do what everyone else is doing.
It's fun to hit, I guess. When I was drunk, I hit it a bunch, hit other people's nicotine a bunch because I was drunk. And then I bought one for a trip to Colorado because I knew I would be drinking a bunch, and then I just started buying them again and again after that.
Tried to quit over 10 times and none of them have been successful. I've quit for a month before and then I went back. Every time I try to quit, it makes me angry and mean.
I'm glad that I didn't do it for a long time. Part of me is kind of thankful that I did it to know I don't want to do that, if that makes sense.
I wish I had never even picked up the big vapes in high school because I probably would never have hit a Juul after that.
It affects my lungs because I cannot breathe properly and I cough up things every morning. I think if I don't quit soon, I'll be affected by it later in my life. There's no positives to hitting a vape, but I continue because I don't like how I felt when I tried to quit.
Nicotine use has been normalized, but its effects do not need to be. Prioritize your health before becoming prey to this nationwide epidemic.
Vaping is dangerous, period.